I spent so much of my life as a missed autistic person who wasn't able to be recognized as who I've always been until adulthood, until my 21st year when I finally got my autism diagnosis. I'd had a false diagnosis before then, and then I was also diagnosed with PTSD from childhood abuse and with DID at 23 last year. I spent so much time trying to be liked by others, trying to fit in with others, holding myself responsible for other people's feelings, trying to appease other people to survive them and to fit in with them, only to realize I don't even like most people. And the reason why it's really fine if so many people don't like me for being queer or for my disabilities is because I don't even like most people. The things that I've learned at this point as a 24-year-old is that the only things that truly matter in this life, that give this life any sort of meaning, in my case at least, is love, empathy, knowledge, death, and genuine, authentic connections. And I spent a significant portion of my current incarnation feeling awful, serving other people like their pet, or like their toy, or like their puppet, or like their slave. And they never treated me the way that I deserve to be treated, with love, empathy, and respect. And now that I have PTSD and DID on top of my autism and ADHD and unpacking my past, I've realized, and especially through my spiritual work as a witch as well, I've realized that all that really truly matters is authentic, genuine connections. That is the only thing of value. Nothing else actually matters. All these hierarchies and these rules and these made up nonsense and these judging other people and all this other crap doesn't matter. All that matters is genuine, authentic connections, authenticity, love, empathy, and knowledge, and death. And those are the things that have given my life meaning, that have defined my life, that have made me the person I am today. And truly learning about all these different things and unpacking so much, it's just made me realize that I don't even like most people because they have nothing that they can give me. They don't even know themselves. They're not authentic in themselves. They're not introspective. They don't care much about learning or knowledge. And most people are just going around in these rat races, content to take parts in these hierarchies in this bullcrap society founded, built, and maintained in blood, written in the blood of minorities as history's ink for the country I live in, of the USA. And I don't buy it. I don't fall into it. I don't care about it. And what I find is that humans have not been loving or kind to me. And what I find is that when I'm with the old gods, the so-called demons of this world, and when I'm out in nature or when I'm meditating and in my mind and exploring my mind as a place and exploring the people who inhabit my minds and the people who are my minds and the places who are my minds, I find that those things can provide me with the love and empathy that I've always craved, and with the answers and the knowledge that I've always craved, and that the mind is an infinite, unexplored frontier, and there's different ways to explore it, and spirituality is an invaluable, super important tool that has been forgotten in our modern world of convenience and apathy and progress over people, where art has been disgraced and forsaken in favor of having things quickly and cheaply and conveniently. But when I'm in my mind, when I'm with the demons, when I'm with the old and true gods, I feel at peace. When I'm out in nature, I feel at peace. When I'm in my minds, I feel at peace. When I'm drawing and creating, I feel at peace. And when I'm with other people, these so-called normal people who treat people like me like shit, it's just a reminder to me now of how I don't need their approval to be happy. Because what I need to be happy is authenticity and genuine connections. And outside of that, nothing else truly matters. I may live in poverty. I may have had to sacrifice everything from my dead life in order to find truth and fulfillment and peace. I may have had to escape many different abusive people and many different abusive systems, things I still know people who are trapped in, things where people look down upon me for being honest in my hatred of those who stole years off my life, of those who made me their slave and their pet and their servant. And people look down on me for being the scapegoat who hates the people who tortured me and gave me CPTSD and DID. But I am not ashamed to be plural. I am not ashamed to be disabled or to be who I am. I am ashamed of the men and the people who bore me into existence, who failed me. I am ashamed of the country I live in. I am ashamed of how many people would prefer comfort over fighting against it, because they know if they did, they'd end up just like me, that they'd fall into poverty, that they'd have to sacrifice a lot. And truth, pursuing truth, puts you in poverty. I was not born into poverty. Accepting my disabilities, accepting my queer identities, forced me into poverty, which is where I have been for the last 6 or so years, since I was at least around, I think, 19. And I'm 24. And I know that this world is cruel, vicious, and wicked, and it is not kind to loving men, and it is not kind to creative men like me. But the old gods are kind to people like me, because they understand, because they've dealt with all the same struggles, and because my struggles are their struggles.